And we are live. I hope everyone can hear us. I hope that we're audible to everyone. I always want to check that out, make sure you guys can hear us. So if you guys can hear us, please say so in the chat. Be greatly appreciated. Welcome to the IWAR Network Tubecast, live number 113, excuse me. Yeah, this is our trash talk edition, and on the show this evening, of course, we have Matt, we have Luke, we have Jeff, and we have Scott. What's going on tonight, gentlemen?
Group answer.
What's up?
A group answer. What should we say?
You guys are the worst.
Well, you know, we do need to establish that we are the what, Scott?
We are the trendsetters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, brother. We are setting trends everywhere. Everywhere.
Don't forget, we're going to do a new Tubecast after this one, back-to-back, where we break down just the back five holds from 3 years ago and look at the current connection.
I mean, that's the only way to do it.
Me and my friend used to have a back-to-back contest in the woods, circa 1996.
Oh, no.
Oh, man. That movie scarred me, okay? For life.
We were here, so he must be gone.
Did we lose Matt again?
No, Matt. I think we lost Jeff.
Oh, we left Jeff?
What? Oh,
No,
man.
Jeff is here.
Jeff is here.
Oh, there he is. All right, good. All right.
We're just used to people leaving as soon as they hear us start talking.
Well, you know, we're going to do an extra special show tonight because I am wearing my fashionable new IWAR baseball cap.
They can't see you, dummy.
Well, I'm just saying that.
He's flexing it on camera, looking good.
Hey, all right. That's good to hear. I'll post the link right here.
Be sure to buy your IWAR comforter or do they cover?
Your IWAR bath mat. I was actually mad because I bought a bath mat last weekend, and I was like, oh, man, I could have got an IWAR bath mat. What lady wouldn't be like, why is that thing on your bathroom floor? Shut up in your cage.
I was waiting for the IWAR Speedos to come out.
It could happen.
Yeah.
The IWAR banana hammock.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Darren says the IWAR bidet.
Yes, we've been officially banned by Bidet Talk from Johnny B. Nah, just kidding. Just kidding.
Johnny loves some good bidet talk.
He does.
Can I tell you, too, quick side note? I was curious what it cost for a bidet.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. So it was like $1,000 for a high call. I'm like, oh, my God. Let's use the hose from the side of the house.
I don't think they all cost that much. That's pretty expensive.
It is.
I was considering installing a urinal in the downstairs bathroom.
That can make sense. You know,
I'm saying.
Guy's room, you just want to take a quick leak. You don't want to
No, I'd poop in there too.
In the bidet.
You never pooped in a urinal before?
No, but I've been at many a bar and club where that's done. There was a bar in Boston, Pumpkins, and then there was Axis. Axis had bathrooms upstairs. They were unisex with, you guessed it, no doors in the stalls.
Well, that's the way to do it.
That's a great Boston experience I'll never forget. Walk in. There's a chick am I in the right bathroom? Oh, I am. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Cheers, baby.
Equal opportunity.
Across from Fenway Park.
Well, at least they still have the trough over at Fenway like they did at Shea. Shea, we had a big trough that you had to pee in. It was ridiculous.
I will tell you, one of my earliest memories of Fenway Park is my dad taking me and going to the trough. And as like a 7, 8-year-old kid, that's an experience forcing anybody. And I went up to take a leak, and I didn't realize. I'm like, why is it so big? Like this huge trough. And this old man's like, ugh, and just like sausage, like, God.
Then he got peed on.
No, thankfully. Although we have a tradition now at whenever my friend Alan and I are out in public, if we're both pissing, we'll just go, hey, nice dick. Tends to clear people out. Why, thank you. I just had it stuffed. So this show should be fun. I did my homework with my BRL.
Speaking of BRL, I think we should start off with the BRL.
Oh, dick.
I know. Such a jerk.
Didn't want to really have to do it. All right.
I'm saying.
Got my Mountain Dew, my 5-hour energy.
Yeah, you got Larry. He's coaching with soccer. And they're gonna.
His daughter's soccer team did well, so they're gonna.
They made the playoffs.
The playoffs. So.
It's all right though. I called it.
Go Spartans.
So.
I don't know the name of the team.
Yeah.
I was gonna call them the Spartans. Go Spartans. I don't know. I think it's a safe assumption. So, Matt, what's going down in the BRL?
Well, a lot's going down, and of our huge end-of-year pay-per-view Battlecade, this coming cycle, we had to change things around a little bit because of the way the year worked out. The 12-14 cycle will be the matches that determine the winners for the January 4th pay-per-view write-up. So if you've been thinking about it and okay, make sure you nail your strat for this cycle. The write-ups will be done the cycle after that in January, or for the January 4th episode.
Oh.
Listen. And one of the things we're doing is, I wasn't really happy with the way we were doing the report. I want to kind of shake it up. So we're going to reformat some of the report. And just so you're aware, this coming cycle, you're going to see a thing called Rich's Rivalry Update or Scoreboard. And it's going to be a thing where we kind of list out our actual big rivalries going on. Which is pretty much every rivalry, and Rick will underline the wrestler he feels is winning the feud right now. So if you look at it and go, hey, why is my guy not underlined? Well, if you lose every match and you don't cut promos, you're losing. Whereas if you do promo and you do win some matches, well, maybe you're going to get the underline. And it's kind of our way of helping people, because I think one of the biggest things I hear people all the time say about BRL is, holy crap, it's huge. There's so much going on. Yeah. It's easy to get. And it is, and I get that. And we've tried to take steps to kind of simplify it. I think this will help a lot because it'll give people something to go, okay, if these wrestlers are listed on the page as an inactive feud, well, I always tell people, go after somebody who's not feuding that promos. That on the lower right side. And above that, we're going to simplify the stories. Instead of recapping all the trash talk, as we were thinking about it, we do that right here. And it's why do the recap in the league when we do it on the show? So that'll change. I'll have top stories. We're going to have some shakeups coming. And one of the things kind of behind the scenes that I was happy about the NWL was he had kind of a coherent, big storylines, some big feuds kind of help push the league in the right direction. We're going to be doing some of that in the BRL. So there's a lot going into Battlecade and then coming out of Battlecade. So to kind of highlight this cycle's trash talk promos, I won't bother because I was so exhausted from working early shifts. I just mailed in the same ones. Yep, mailing it in. So let's see here. Let's get into the action. We lead off with Catfish Rob. And what does Alex love more than anything else? That's right.
Boobies?
Okay, well, after that, Catfish Rob drawings.
Oh, yes.
So Catfish Rob.
Boobies.
Double R Rob Ratliff, the guitar-wielding madman, is going to be facing Neverfull Joey Salton-Boca for the North American Championship at Battlecade. And he drew up a pie-eating contest example, and it shows, I believe Joey passed out with pie everywhere.
It's usually the way I do it.
Yeah. So, he comes in and attacks him with his guitar. And then we have Jax McAllister getting called out by Double R, so they're kind of beefing it up. Then we have Ace, Ladder to Greatness, and before I get to that, we have a drawing by Catfish with a catfish in the top part. Looks like a guitar smashing a DOD that it says "Bang Gas Bang." These are the golden years of the BRL. Let me tell you, this is I love drawings. So Seth Adamsley talks about his stable and Ace and his match against them at Battlecade against Litigators alongside Wisp, and then King Wisp, as he likes to call himself, because he just won the IWA King of the Ring championship. So good for him.
There it is.
A nice a smooth promo here from the Holy Family. And to keep everybody in the know, Sabretooth will be challenging for the Global Championship, which has been held by Punk Rock Mike for over 20 cycles. It's a record. Broke his own record this coming cycle. He's also, Sabretooth is challenging Joe Boring for the IWAR World Championship, which he's held for over 2 years. So Sabretooth got a lot going on.
Sure does.
Yeah, so they kind of established some of the characters. If you read the Holy Family promos, they really read like a there's a lot of little gags in there. I enjoy it. But basically at the very end, Sabretooth and Wolf kind of make the big promo talk at the end, with Sabretooth kind of finishing up by saying, like, you know, he's a fighter, he's going to take down Punk Rock Mike. So that's going to be an interesting battle. We have Neverfull Joey Salton Boca preparing by smashing guitars against the wall. He's kind of fed up with being hit by guitars. We have Barb Dwyer talking about how she killed the gypsy. And then she's facing not safe for work Gina Colada, the BRL Women's Global Champion at Battlecade. And calls her a QAnon whore. I'm like, my God.
Too far.
Too far. Crossing lines. But Barb Dwyer crosses lines. I enjoy Barb Dwyer. And only Barb Dwyer could turn Gina Colada face. That's how it works. And next up, we got the Disciples of Doom and their Triple D Cup 6-man tournament victory. Chief Bull, Gray Fox, Matthew Porter, the Zombie Hunter, and the Saskatchewan Sasquatch. Well, they won the Triple D 6-man cup, and they've been the BRL 6-man champions, I think, now for 5 cycles in a row. It's one away from the record. And just amazing, like this Mismatch trio is doing it well. We got Nasty Critter Brian Rodden, who again, Heartbreak, had a hot years to start off, like two championship in a row with BRL. Hot start to the year, and we were really doing well. Former winner of the Johnny B Cup demands to get a spot in the best of the best tournament, which equals a shot at the IWAR World Championship, and gets knocked out in the first round. Just a heartbreaking stunner. How will Brian Rotten respond to that? Then we got the East-West Connection, Jane Red and Matthew Van Slaughter, and they've got a challenge coming up against Suburban Hill Savages, Age 26, and Punk Rock Mike. Next up, we have a bizarre promo from a ramshackle, looks like a tent in the middle of nowhere, kind of like a
supposed to be a gypsy tent.
Gypsy tent. Okay, I got a little squish to my viewer here.
I don't believe it.
Yeah. Lavender couldn't make it as so big on the piece of paper.
It's all right. So Lavender Fields, a 2-time TV tag champion with Gina Colada. They're quite successful team. Or are they going to be enemies? Borrow the book from Vince McMahon. You team up, you got a feud. Calling out Barb Dwyer, telling she's going to kill Barb Dwyer.
Well, that's because Barb Dwyer took on Barb Dwyer was there to ask for where Lavender was, and she was not there. So Barb Dwyer takes it upon herself to beat up the two people that took care of Lavender and got her back on her feet, and Patrick and Francis. So both of them are beaten down, and one's got a broken jaw, the other one has a broken arm, and now Lavender is really pissed off, and she's going to go a different way, it looks like.
Dun, dun, dun. There it is. We have the Suburban Hell Savages promo page where we have the group in their little hidden fortress, as always. Going back and forth talking about their big matchups. And reminder, Suburban Hill Savages are really, all the gold. They have the global title, the global tag team, global 6-man. They're facing the Olympians for the 6-man. So the Olympians are really geared up about that. Again, the tags against East-West Connection. And my computer's being a dick. Get out of here. Sorry. So they'll be really busy. And one of the things I'm looking at, I talked about earlier about the feud watch. There are a lot of wrestlers that I find do exceptional promos when they're engaged in a feud. And when they're not in a feud, they kind of just coast along. I'm going to be working behind the scenes to set up a lot of things. I have several things already in place, but I'm going to try to make it so that everyone's got a dance partner, and then let's let the league blow up. We got the Wolves of Deadwood, which is a combination of Leroy Buttersworth, who is if I have this correctly, I believe he is the guy from Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure that's dating the girl that helps Pee Wee at one point, chases him around.
Like the big dude?
Yeah, like remember the guy who he goes after Pee Wee and Pee Wee's like, ah, and he's running around the dinosaur place. Yes. I think that's the guy.
Are you talking about the girl from Pee Wee Herman?
Not Dottie. There's someone he meets along the way that he helps. However,
I was in love with Dottie when I was a child.
That makes sense.
She's smoking.
I was in love with Large Marge.
I could see that.
Marge. We have a roster shakeup as beautiful Brittany Massacre has departed after a rough start, and her boyfriend comes in, and her boyfriend is Owen Bolek, and he's come in to shake things up in the BRL. We get some words from Monster of Mayhem, Donnie Bloodstone, and he's also kind of shake things up. Donnie Bloodstone had a really hot run early on, and he kind of cooled off. And that's the thing I always feel like, some guys come in and they have 4 or 5 wrestlers, and we talked about this last time where you give your A strategy to your 3rd, 4th wrestler, so they end up winning the title, and your main guy is titleist. You're like, it sucks. So, I think it didn't happen with Jeff, I think, with Rowe winning where Rhett wasn't. Then Rhett went. Next up, we got Thugs for Hire, Rodney Diamond and Bram O'Baron, and they're talking about the match at Battlecade coming up and how, they got a lot going on there. Basically, they get hired and they'll do anything for money. And they have a big 6-man match at Battlecade against the White Claw Outlaws and a mystery partner, along with Monster Truck Tanaka. But they don't like the way Tanaka's talked to them, so they're kind of into the fact that if he doesn't behave himself, they'll leave him. Next up, we have lovely Lucy Lethal. Happy to see the promos back in style here. And talking about their hot streak. And, I will say this, sometimes people talk about, the competition being, in the BRL for a while, tag team wrestling was, really hard. You had a 5-14, 5-15, 5-16, and for a while it was 5-16s were the thing, man. So I mentioned earlier the 6-man championship team, the trio, almost set the record. And they said a comment here about the competition in the BRL for 6-man is a joke. And I'll say this, there are not as many top 6-man trios players as used to be, but that could be changing soon. So keep that in mind. Be careful what you wish for. Because sometimes when you sit there and go, the competition here sucks, and all of a sudden you're getting forced out. Next up, we got a threat from Assassin Beast Devasto, who is facing Fatty the Butcher in a First Blood match. And he really wants to get a piece of Adam Cash, but Adam Cash is a little busy with Logan Kane right now. Had to get the next chapter. And we have Catfish Chucky saying now he wants in Best of the Best.
No.
So the veto power has spoken. Oh, God. Zod. Then we get another promo from Double R Rob Ratliff. Queen Betty Red talking about being a 2-time IWAR Women's Champion because she regained the championship. So she'll be facing the winning duo from the Ladies Lethal Lottery Tournament. So get ready for that one. Silver Fox wants a shot at the Cruiserweight Championship. He weighs about 200 pounds. And the picture is of Wahoo McDaniel, who I'll guess pushed 3 bills. But that's okay. The intention's there. Hawaiian Heartthrob talks about Mechanico and their long-running blood feud coming to an end in a last blood match. What's a last blood match? It's a match where both men have to bleed, and the first one to pass out from blood loss is the loser.
AKA my prom night.
Whoa! Whoa! Holy! Well, I'm sorry.
It happens.
All right. The Olympians chime in, talking about their trios match with the Serpent Hill Savages and how they're going to, demolish them for the belts. I think the Olympians are one of those trios teams I talked about. You know, you should be careful with talking about how, you know, oh, there's no competition. The Olympians are going to walk in and destroy us soon, so they're going to be tough to deal with. We also have the mannequins. And speaking of the mannequins, we have Zeus calling out Flashy Jack Ferdinand. They've been kind of in each other's faces for a long time. After the burning facial injury Jack suffered, he's looking to get revenge. He's finally got the mask off his face. He's fully healed, so that'll be in the works. We get Summer Nights. The women's division got a big shot in the arm with these 3 signed in, and now they're starting to heat up. So I think Valerie Phoenix is the latest one. Maybe I was wrong. Oops. I could have sworn she had a belt. Well, good for her. Actually, I think she did, because I remember the IWA sent paper bulletins out. And that was the thing we were doing that night with like the whole running gag of like the IWA just redid the bulletins again. So I believe Valerie Phoenix is one of the regionals, but I could check the homepage for that, but I'm busy. What I'm looking to do, too, is just as I'm looking to set up all these feuds with the men wrestlers, if you will, we're looking to set up things in place. And one of the problems we've had a long way for women's wrestling is really
Northeast champion.
Sorry?
Northeast champion.
Northeast, thank you. So Northeast champion is not Donnie Bloodstone. Donnie Bloodstone, getting a harsh treatment there. So we're looking to do is like Gina Colada's kind of becoming a big face. Barbed Wire's the big heel. We've had a lot of tweeners with the women wrestlers, so we're trying to establish really firm character. Like, I was watching AEW earlier, and like Trish Stratus, Trish Statlander, Ruby Soho, Nyla Rose, like very identifiable characters, not like very similar to each other. So we're looking to get that with the women's division, like Tiamat, Shiloh Wallace, Aria Gunpowder, Veruca Salt. So we have some really good image, these wrestling division was really strong with a lot of good characters going into 2022. So expect more from Summer Nights, as I have a feeling Gina Colada's promo this month might help to establish several feuds coming up. We have the Carnival Profits. If my computer will update. Hello? I have the worst computer.
You do.
I think it's run by a potato.
It is a potato.
It is. It is a potato.
It just is a potato.
So it's Jello, Dodge, and Effie. I think we established. So Effie is, these guys are all feud, and I think I actually have a feud for the Carnival Profits lined up. So get ready for that one. Not with me, at least not that I know of. But again, we're looking at some really good characters here. Next up, we get the Litigators, who there's a rumor that they might be jumping ship to a new league. So we'll see if that happens. But before they do, they got a feud to settle with Wisp and Seth Adams-Lee, and that'll go down at Battlecade. And old man like Ali Atari. Ali Atari's in his prime. You bastards. I like the name of Seth Adams-Lee's stable is Action Consistency. God damn this computer. Fuck. There's your first swear. It like jumps up and down page-wise, so I'm like trying to like be smooth, and it's not being smooth. Here we go. Action Consistency Agency. And, you want to have consistency in the game if you can help it. And if you can't, call 1-877-BEAT-DWN. The Hurt Line. Next up, we have a promo from Too Hot, Frankie Scott. Scott, you want to talk about that one?
I don't.
All right. Well, he's been burning things lately, and
he is not.
Well,
How can you prove that?
Allegedly, it's suspected. The latest was that I heard he was.
He was doing it.
It was Brandy Rhodes.
Brandy.
That's if you haven't watched AEW yet, I highly recommend it. We get another picture from El Barbero, good old El Barbero, back with a drawing of him and Gato stuffing the bird. That's not slang. No, they're preparing Thanksgiving feast. We get late night Logan Kane, and he's got Pearl Harbor, the woman nearly killed by Adam Cash, and he's driving her around to physical therapy. And then he makes a stop, and this is where it takes a turn. And he takes a stop, and he meets up with Dwyer, who has a bound and gagged, money-driven Mike Sebastian, and he pays her to torture him because Mike Sebastian cost him a match in the IWL. So a little crossover action for you hardcores.
Technically, Logan Kane won that match.
Yes, but
he got thrown off a scaffold.
He did. Yeah. Next up, we get the White Claw Outlaws, the IWAR World Tag Team Champions, for about a year now, as of December. So they'll be facing the Disembowelers on 12/14. So get tuned for that one. Hold on. Sorry. I'm just going to go paper. Hell with it. The hell with it. The hell with you. Going old school here. Of course, it's half pages. Bloody hell. So we have a promo from two new wrestlers. And
What do we know about these guys?
Wrestling, Demon, Drugs, and Alcohol.
Yes.
They were drafted. They are run by Mike Cook. And they are looking to, make a name for themselves in the sense that they've been established other places. But as always, when you come in into a hot, big league, it's good to get established and reprove yourself. And the drawing of the Wrestling Demon Drugs is both interesting and scary at the same time. Which reminds me, I found a needle in my parking lot at work. That was fun.
Makes sense.
Nothing, folks. Move along. So a strong initial promo from Wrestling Demon Drugs and Alcohol, kind of establishing, hey, we're going to come in here and kick some ass. And then we get a promo from, Jim the Anchor Neidhart. So one of the MRL send-back callbacks, you want to call it that. And the MRL was the Mid-Atlantic Regional League back in the early 2000s, where you took over a real wrestler and gave them kind of a skew on their gimmick and ran them. And so he's back, and he's going to drop the anchor. So, I've always liked the nickname The Anchor. I don't think any of Alex, you would know this. Has anyone ever used The Anchor as a gimmick, like a ring name?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Tugboat.
Ooh.
Tugboat. Yeah, the anchor on his hat.
Tugboat. Tugboat.
Uncle Fred, Big Bubba.
I saw
Big
it at the
Steel
Boston
Man.
Garden.
Matt, turn off the volume on your computer.
Ooh.
You.
I don't have the volume up.
Well, someone, I can hear myself.
Not me. I muted it.
Luke, can you get me off the big screen TV, please?
Man, I'm on my phone, right? And I can hear myself too.
I know, because someone has their...
Yeah. I can hear myself, too, when I'm talking.
So can I. So we can all hear each other.
It's Scott.
All right, well, that's good. Anarchy ahoy. We have, who the heck is Mike Cook, answering that question and talking about his nearly 25 years, and no need to ask who, really. Everyone knows who he is, and he brings a new danger competitor to the league. We wrap up with Flashy Jack Ferdinand, and he's a busy man. And I talked about it in the last show that he's got feuds going on all over the place. He's winning the best of 7. He's in the sudden death for the Bound for Glory final. He won the All Rookie Cup. I mean, just boom, 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 boom. And he also was in the won the Lethal Lottery with Alexander J. Styles. So busy year for this guy. And he takes a moment to stop by and talk to his Dynasty stablemate, Hate Clown, and who is blood-soaked, and kind of talk about, a deal's a deal. So things going on for Dynasty. Lots of changes coming. And I would just say this, BRL-wise, we appreciate Trash Talk. I'm actually working on my Trash Talk earlier this time, so I don't get pinned down like last time. But lots of changes coming to the BRL. So we got new faces coming in over the next, let's say, 4 or 5 months. So really going to be a lot of new faces coming in. There's some people going out. The running, I wouldn't say, it's not a rumor really, it's supposed to be legit, is that the Leatherman's going to be leaving. So after, good Lord, it's in the 90s, 92 or 93 when he arrived in the BRL. So he's leaving. So there'll be that. So let me look here. Any Alexander J. Styles is here. Hear me now. All right, so that's the BRL. So I would suggest anybody out there who wants some fun mayhem, take part.
Man, fantastic.
But do you
I do dig
that?
I do dig that. All right, next up, IWL. So, Luke, what do you got for us in the IWL?
Well, I didn't read the TT, so I would just read,
Just make it up.
just yeah, like I just look at the pictures because I actually cannot read. So,
Or you can just you can just read the blaze.
yeah, I mean that's what I would advise you to do if you really care. But before we start with this, I just wanted to point out that Great David won the East Coast Championship. If you don't know who Great David is, he was a long-time IWL staple, and he was IWL champion and NWL champion. So it's good to see him around and back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and then also I wanted to give it. I also wanted to give out a shout out to Jake Joyce for winning. I think it's his first world championship.
I believe that is
right?
his first world championship. Correct.
Yeah. So give a shout out to longtime IWAR manager, and he was a commissioner for a while. So just congratulations to him for doing that, man. It's like, believe it or not, it's not that easy to get to that point. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Matt, how long have you been playing, and how many world titles have you won?
I've been playing since 1987, and I've won one world title. We all know it was a gift.
One too many.
What?
Yeah, obviously.
I think it was Dennis who enraged the longtime Big Rock.
We know all about Senior Lucha and him getting title shots. So we know how that works. So
that's right. Lucha's money, baby.
All right, that brings us
medical
to
bills.
Our TT. So first off, if you go, always make sure that you pay attention to what our beloved commissioner, Don King, says. So he talks a little bit about and gives a preview of what's coming up for Starrcade. And Starrcade is our premier event of the year. It is the IWL's WrestleMania. So we have all of our titles on the line, as we usually do, but it's always extra special when it happens at Starrcade. And also the championship match has an interesting, I don't even know what you call it. It's not stipulation, but it's like a caveat, I guess. So Revolution Extreme will be banned from ringside, and Luther Alexander will be suspended in a cage above the ring. So that's what's going on with that. So speaking of Revolution Extreme, Luther Alexander he lost to Logan Kane.
Lose is a very strong word. I wouldn't use lose.
He has
he came in second.
I mean, he has a greater mass than Logan does, evidently, because
the waist down.
Weighted down, he crashed to the floor, but it was because Neo Dragon threw him off. So, Neo Dragon has returned, and Luther is not. He's not going to give him a 5-star match. He's going to give him a beating, essentially. And they're going to settle it in a Russian chain match, which, if you know anything about this feud, is not that extreme, because at one point we fought in it was a pool full of piranhas.
Yes, that was the Russian Death Match, which is a match that consists of a ring inside of a swimming pool, and the swimming pool has electrified eels, piranhas, with lasers on top, and there's scorpions swimming in there. Apparently, light tubes on the corners. Your whole death match things, barbed wire, that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah, so this is one of many, but this should be an interesting one because they've both screwed each other over, so that's exciting. So we'll see if Neo Dragon agrees to that stipulation. Johnny Revolution is out here. He's calling out John Satterfield. He's basically calling out the whole of the IWL.
It's true.
Revolution Extreme has two of the three individual IWL championships. Though the Three Birds have both the IWL tag and the Bad Street Championship, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so, but our Revolution Extreme has also brought in the Graces, and they have BQE and the Regulators. So, as far as getting those titles, they're definitely well on their way to doing that. In addition to having Take a Pencil, though, really Dixon is the only one that's part of Revolution Extreme. But speaking of Dixon and Take a Pencil, Dixon is over here basically calling out the Three Birds and giving them their just dues as well. And he and Barry are definitely talking about what's going on and what's going to happen. Dixon should be facing the American Patriot for his title. That's right.
That is correct.
So we look forward to seeing that. But Barry is looking for a title as well. So both of them are on the prowl, and now, now that Barry is done with the UVU title, everybody should be on
which
notice.
Probably is a big stick in his craw, by the way, that he's no longer the UVU champion.
Well, I mean, obvious. That's like, I can't talk about how prestigious it is because it doesn't exist anymore. So that's how prestigious it is. Next, we have the Disembowelers. So they're calling out Princeton and Jimmy Electric. And also, they have the unified tag titles. They want the unified tag titles, but as Matt said, I believe they're going to go after the IWAR titles, right, against White Claw Outlaws.
I think that's true, but I muted him, so he doesn't know.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Then we have Ollie Atari.
You bastard!
We have Ollie Atari is addressing Rex Chambers, calling him out.
Ravishing Rex Chambers.
Ravishing Rex Chambers. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of weird. I don't know why. I don't feel comfortable calling another man ravishing, but
wouldn't be the first time today.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's a word you only use so many times a day. But yeah, so Atari has a lot. He hasn't ever really seemed to get his revenge against Alex J. Styles, and now he's got.
Because he can't beat him, that's why.
Rex Chambers. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. And then we have a message from Dr. Zahorian about Senior Lucha's health, saying that he might die in the ring. Though I think he's literally been dying in the ring for like the past 10 years.
I tell Matt all the time, one day he's going to take off his mask and he's just going to be a skeleton underneath.
I thought he just had a blank face. He's like one of those. He's like a Lego.
Like from Dick Tracy?
Yeah, that's it.
That was Madonna.
I don't remember that.
Folks. That was Madonna.
Yeah, I remember that one. And Warren Beatty.
Yeah, that was supposed to be a really popular movie, and it wasn't.
I saw it when I was a kid.
I saw it in the movie theater, but it's like they came out with like 5 sequels or nothing. It was like, that's it. We're not doing this anymore.
I mean, it was kind of dated, and that was like in the 90s. So.
Well, that was kind of the point, though, I think.
I guess. Next, we have U.S. Mail, who is addressing the IWAR from the CWL. And so he talks, he's basically holding out for a contract, and he's trying his best to go where he can go to raise his stock value, because he was the IWAR's first pick in the 10th round. So he definitely is holding out for a big contract like some of the other bulk boring Joe Brogan and Alexander J. Luther. So as those competitors, are highly sought after. So he's trying to put himself in that position, but I don't know if he's going to get it. Next, we have the Von Snaps. They talk about the Chase brothers. They talk about the Destruction Crew. They even bring up how Lance Catamaran has joined Revolution Extreme. And they mentioned that Revolution Extreme may have jumped the shark. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of people calling out the Von Snaps as well. So we'll see where they end up. But I think that they're headed to a clash with the Regulators sooner rather than later. So
yeah, I think that's going to be a sign that the sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later. So we have Barry Stevens all on his own here without his protege Dixon, his partner,
his little brother,
his friend.
It's like a Razor Ramon 1, 2, 3 kid type of relationship.
Do they both? Does he make Dixon wear diapers though?
I mean, at some point maybe.
Okay, all right. I want
to see people do in their bedroom is not for me to say.
I mean, they're on the road together a lot. So I get it. So, but Barry basically just reinforces the fact that he's focused. He's ready to go. He's ready to take some people on. He's not worried about what Dixon does. Dixon's a big boy, but he's going to do what he needs to do. So, let's see. Next, we have Neo, Dragon, and Tiamat. Did everybody like the background, or is that too much?
Never enough.
Never enough. Well, I mean, I don't want to look like it threw up on the thing. So I just thought it was
maybe the people in the chat can give you some feedback.
Yeah. If you let me know about the format, like the new logos that I made, or like a little time for war. You don't know, it's time for war. It's wartime.
They all suck.
Stream. You know what? Well, I thought we muted him. Like I thought that's what we did.
I was hoping.
It's really hard in my eyes. I was going to say that I liked the setup because the extra emphasis around the letters made it easy to read. So, thumbs up.
Thanks. That's called formatting, kids. It's a tab in Publisher. I don't know what it does. But so the Revolution Extreme goes out to attack Omega Squadron, and the Neo Dragon and Tiamat rescue them or help them out. But they don't seem to care much for Omega Squadron. So they kind of help, and then they leave. And obviously there's some bad blood because the Chameleon is now married to Neo Dragon's ex-fiance.
Samantha Soley.
Yeah, he ruined their wedding, if you aren't aware.
Did.
So we'll have to see we obviously know what Tiamat is all about, destroying Revolution Extreme, and it seems that's where Neo Dragon is at as well. But as far as if that's going to carry over with mending bridges, we'll have to see. Because some of them, like Omega Squadron, has never known Neo Dragon except as a member of Revolution Extreme.
Did.
So it's been a while since Neo Dragon has been anywhere except in the camp of Revolution Extreme. So we'll have to see how everyone else reacts to that. So that'll be interesting going forward. We have Steel Cut Oates, who kind of goes off character a little bit, and he seems like almost sinister, like threatening.
Get a little edgy.
Yeah, he's beating up some of the jobbers, and just to point out to Alexander J. Styles what's going to happen to him at Starrcade. So Oates is getting intense. He's not going to let this his first chance at gold pass him by, and he's going to definitely have a tough match.
Has anyone ever eaten honey bunches of oats?
Yeah, that's delicious. I love it. With almonds, it's great.
First of all, I don't buy cereal that's in a box. Bag cereal all the way for me, my friend.
Well,
that's the way my daddy ate it. That's the way I eat it too.
Bag cereal, do you get Happy Shapes? Is that what you order?
I don't know. Some of them, they're generic as hell.
I mean, could you not get it?
Bag cereal and government cheese.
There it is. He knows what I'm talking about.
I like
That's
government cheese.
my childhood.
Like I wish, like I like the government cheese doll. It was good. Like it's all full of fat and chemicals. It makes you feel great.
Yeah, it's brick cheese. It's killer.
Hell yeah.
Best
Hell
grilled cheese sandwiches ever.
I mean,
This
I don't
endorsement
know why
of government cheese paid you by the U.S. Marine Corps. Be all you can be.
Yeah, and the USDA. I will say this. Like we had like something when I was younger, where I think it was like WIC or something, and you got like a free thing because my wife was pregnant, you know.
Yeah.
And so we would go to the store and you like you could get. No, she's not pregnant again. I'm done with that, kid. That was a long time. But anyway, you could get. They had like certain food you could get, right? And you could get like a bunch of cheese, and it was awesome. I don't know why. It was just real great. That's one thing I remember. I mean, I don't remember anything else about my children, but the fact that I got cheese from the government made me feel good. Anyway, so we have the fabulous Three Birds, who are the IWL Unified Champions. They have the title that's their namesake already, which is pretty awesome. So,
They suck.
wow. They're calling out Omega Squadron here. They're calling out Omega Squadron. So we'll see how that goes. Scott's a little embittered, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Take a Pencil had their chance, and they didn't get it done. So
I was a little bitter about 6 weeks ago.
well,
I'm a
you know,
little bit now.
I'm sorry. Now we have Alexander J. Styles, who, I mean, he's just unstoppable, evidently. He's talking about Johnny Revolution's out there, talking about all the things that he's done with bringing in the regulators, and Styles is obviously hyping up. Talking about Chameleon, talking about Christian Warrior, the Omega Squadron, talking about the Graces. He's obviously touching on Steel Cut Oates, who's going to be his opponent. I mean, he's just talking shit about Brogan again. So, I mean, Styles is making enemies at a faster rate than he's making friends. But his friends are all in Revolution Extreme. So, he's got a lot going on. He's been very successful both in the IWL and in the IWAR as a whole. So it should be interesting to see how long he can hold this title going forward, and see where else he'll go from here.
I think the IWL World Heavyweight Championship is in his future, and then after that, I think future IWAR champion.
So I will say that in the past, the Pan American title has definitely led to the IWL Heavyweight Championship. So it's definitely in the vein of the old school Intercontinental title, or like the IWGP Junior Heavyweight. Yeah, it's IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Like it's definitely where you want to be. So, or the 24/7 title. If you're familiar with that, that's a huge.
No.
So next up, we have the Wrecking Ball SWAT team. They're calling out the IWL Tag Team Champs. They want the IWL Tag Team Champs. We got Donphin Annihilation. We got old Johnny WrestleFest is back. He wants his belt back from Brogan, so he's gonna have to go through Alexander J. Styles. He's going to have to win some events, but he's more than capable. It's not like anything that he hasn't done before. Matthew Grabakowski wants a shot at the Grand Prix Championship, so we'll have to see if he can catch Dixon. And then obviously from the champ, the man, the champ is here, Firebird John Satterfield is hyping up his main event match at Stark. Yeah, I mean, he looks good, you know? Let's read first. Let's take the time, and this is the best, and this is probably everyone's favorite part is the reading of the backstabber. Is it a haiku or a soliloquy? Like what type of
it's
poetry?
song lyrics, isn't it?
I can't sing them. I'll try to do spoken word. All right. It says, "I've had enough. I am backstabber. I don't want to be cheered. Seems I've been hearing cheers. I don't understand why. I do the same things every day. Just like I always have. I don't understand you fans. First, you like Chameleon, or Christian Warrior, or American Patriot. Or maybe Aleatari or Steel Cut Oats. Then you resort to liking Backstabber? I like myself. However, I care nothing about the fan. Backstabber rules. I am tough, moderately successful. I've never tasted the gold. But you could argue the point. I never, ever hardly challenge for titles. I just like to kick butt and have fun. I make people fall down just by frightening them. I make money, even with no titles. I was thinking about reuniting with some old friends, and I changed my mind.
Oh.
I wish don't break my heart like that. I'm free to do that. I have a mind, in case you didn't know. I can lift 600 pounds bench press. I fight like a lion or a scorpion. You know, scorpions commit suicide if you corner them, by the way. But I don't see how you cheer me. Did I do something heroic? I don't understand you people. I don't think I ever will. Backstabber rules. That is probably some of the most deep and existential, it really touches on so many things. It's a man questioning his place in the world.
Backstabber just recently married Cena Lucha's cat.
I did. I saw that. That was beautiful.
That's a true story.
Well, I can tell you this: Backstabber rocking a 468 ain't kicking much butt at all.
Look, man.
Oof.
Don't like he's intellectual. Okay.
I think I know who runs Backstabber. By the way.
Who?
It's Kim.
Okay.
It's just like her revenge on the players. Oh, damn freaking players, I hate them.
She should just write thanks at the end of everything. All right.
Did you know if you take the first letter of line 8, 21, and 43, it spells out Kim?
Ooh. The fact that you did all that, I don't know what to say about that.
I'm lying.
I know you are. There's actually I looked real quick, and not one of these lines begins with a K. All right. So, excuse me. Next we have Bulk Brogan, who's probably going to be Wrestler of the Year if we're all things considered, because of his success.
Down there.
But he hasn't had as much success this side of the year as he did at the beginning of the middle of the year. So we'll see if he can bounce back, and if that award can keep kind of reignite his winning streak.
Styles keeps on beating him, so you can't call yourself number one if you have a guy that's constantly beating you all the time.
Yeah. So, yeah. Then something about Temujin and that other guy in the IWL Tag Division.
Monkey and Temujin the Terror.
Yeah.
Yes. They had their sight on the IWL Tag Team Division.
There you go. And if you know anything about Temujin, he has a sight set on something. He usually gets it.
That's true. That's
true. Next up, we have Spider Williams talking about the most recent match, big profile match he had, the Fatal 5-Way. Talks about what happened in the Fatal 5-Way. How Black Arrow Vengeance stuck their nose in there. He took him out. Steel Cut Oats kind of baited him in and used him to basically win the match. I'm going to go ahead and say I want to give props to Spider Williams for actually, I did the write-up for that. He read it and then used what I said happened in the match and went on that in TT. That's literally the most wonderful thing that you can do. A lot of these matches, we don't expect everybody to write every match, especially when we have multi-man matches. But when it's nice to see that I put in the time to create a narrative, and he was able to expand upon that. So I just wanted to point that out. That's a really awesome thing to do, and that's one of the unique aspects that we have in the IWAR, IWA, whatever, is because you can creatively bounce off other people. So it's kind of like improv almost, where you just make stuff up and you just react to what that person's giving you. And that's a real good job by him taking that. And now he's creating a problem with Oates. He's creating an issue with Black Arrow Vengeance. And he's also, kind of like expanding his character a little better. So good on him for like paying attention to that kind of stuff and expanding on it. And if you're trying to like take notes or get better, if you're in the NWL or even in any of the other leagues that are in the IWAR, like that's it's simple. It doesn't take a lot, but it's definitely something that I wish more people would do, because it's like really isolating if you just like, I write TT and then the person acts like I didn't write anything. So anyway, let's keep going. We have the demolition crew. So evidently Tommy Zulu had a Thanksgiving retreat, and he invited all of his wrestlers. And
I got a question.
No.
I have a question.
What's the question?
So my question is who in those pictures correspond to which wrestlers?
Which pictures of what?
So like, obviously we have the, Demolition Crew, right? We got that, right? We know who those guys are, right? Then we have Big Money and the Dog Pound, right? So
yeah.
Who is Big Money? Who is Jack's Justice? Who is Rusty Riggs? So if I'm going right to left, that I'm assuming that Big Money Graham Steenbridge is the first picture, Jack's Justice is the second picture, and Rusty Riggs is the third picture. Maybe.
That's the only thing that
I don't want to get that wrong. So Tommy Zulu, reach out to me and just let me know who's who, because I'm doing some stuff. God damn it.
Yeah, some stuff with the thing. So anyway, speaking of Tommy Zulu, he had, again, invited all of his stable out to a Thanksgiving event in a 60,000 square foot home on 80 acres.
That's bigger.
That's it. But he did allow a 2-hour time slot for some wrestling reporters, including Misty Hyatt. Oh. So she does interview Demolition Crew, who Mike Gloom initially and instantly sexually harasses her. So that's an HR report we're gonna have to deal with. So, but I think Zulu has the money to pay the fine. But I don't know. Anyway, so Misty interviews them. So they're going up in the tag team derby against the Disembowelers. They're calling out Omega Squadron. So they have a lot going on. Demolition Crew is definitely a tag team that's in the mix with all the tag teams. But it's just, at this point, it's who can knock off the Jimmy Electric and Princeton. So whoever can knock them off, the three birds, that's going to be the team. So she does try to get an interview with Ravishing Rex Chambers, but he has something going on, evidently. He's not taking an interview right now.
It's probably unprotected sex. Just saying.
All right. So, I thought we were trying to get advertisers. Big Money and the Dog Pound, speak of the devil. She interviews them. I'm not really sure what... It doesn't seem like Graham Steinbridge has a whole lot going on. I guess he calls out Barry Stevens. Right. He's diametrically opposed to Barry Stevens. I don't know why. But he says that Barry Stevens stands for pretty much everything that he isn't. So I don't know what it is that he stands for, but whatever Barry Stevens stands for or kneels for or whatever, he doesn't like. So I don't know. But that's interesting. Jax, the Dog Pound, talk about Free Quebec. And that's pretty much it. So next up are the Regulators. Tully Schiavone is talking to them. Obviously, everybody. Are you booing Tully Schiavone?
Definitely booing Tully Schiavone.
Oh, okay. I got that. So the big question on everybody's mind is why the Regulators, or why Ryan Patrick would allow them to join Revolution Extreme, because they literally have been at each other's throats. And the last time the Regulators and the Empire left, they did it by having a match with Revolution Extreme, right? Like the last time they took a break, That was their final match, right? Was against Revolution Extreme.
No, I think it was. If you're talking about the one that took place in Michigan,
Yeah.
No, that wasn't Revolution Extreme.
Who was it?
That was Graham Underwood and all them.
Oh yeah, okay, I forgot about those guys too. All right. Anyway, so they don't like Revolution Extreme. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure.
Damn! Luther stabbed Ryan Patrick in the eyeball with a chicken bone.
Oh, that's right. I knew somebody got stabbed in the eye. I just didn't
The
remember
regulators ran over strippers in an RV.
There's a lot that happened between them.
There's a lot of stuff.
Wait, did they run over strippers that were in an RV, or they used an RV to run over strippers?
They used an RV to run over strippers in front of the Globe Club, which is in Atlanta, and there was silicone fucking everywhere. It's ridiculous. Fucking disaster.
It's moldable though. All right. Anyway, Patrick just goes on to explain his reasoning. First of all, they have been labeled as the bad guys, but they've been fighting the good fight, and they keep getting pushed behind people like Lucha and the Omega Squadron. Senior Lucha has just a way of making people turn bad. I don't know why he does that. That's his talent, evidently. But anyway, let's keep going. So he talks about how Lucha got put in this heavyweight title match, and he doesn't think that he earned it.
It's true. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I mean, obviously, you need transitional champion, and then you get somebody like Senior Lucha in there, and it's just, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, it was a gift.
At least he won the match.
You know who I'd describe, who Lucha reminds me of? And I know Matt will appreciate this. He's almost a Goldberg-like guy. He just comes in.
You bastard.
For a cheap pop and wins the title, buries guys that that are really up and coming. Anyway. So he talks about Omega Squadron, how people are fawning over Chameleon and American Patriot, Christian Warrior. He talks about the Von Snaps and their fathers. He doesn't. What would his philanderer? Yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah. And then
I'm a philanthropist.
Philanderer and philanthropist, I think, are different. So you could be a philandering philanthropist. That's really hard to say. But anyway, so the regulators, they talk about how they helped build the IWL, and they definitely did. The regulators have constantly been in the mix, like I said, for all the titles, and they've won multiple events. And they're they're tired of fighting Revolution Extreme. As a matter of fact, if the regulators had been with Revolution Extreme in a lot of these instances, they wouldn't have had to go through Revolution Extreme to get championships and titles. So them actually coming together, it makes a lot of sense.
Unbeatable.
So if you go back and look at some of the old bulletins, you'll find that, especially like when Neo Dragon was a Pan American champion, there were multiple times where I think at 3 straight pay-per-views, he fought a member of the regulators. So if they had all been in the same stable, maybe they would have avoided some of the interference from Revolution Extreme and had more of a fair match and had a fair shot at beating Neo Dragon to get those. So now that they're combined, I mean, it's crazy. It's a superstar stable at this point. Also, don't forget Ryan Patrick, being the great man that he is, brings Luther out and gives him a $500,000 check for Johnny Revolution's halfway house for girls that won't go all the way. Sure. And that is something that's near and dear to Revolution Extreme, Sam Sully, and Johnny Revolution. So very nice of them. It's nice to see that they can give back.
Did you guys see the new logo for Revolution Extreme? It's based on the Cobra logo from G.I. Joe. And the reason I picked that specifically because, out of all kind of the 80s cartoons, right? Cobra is the most formidable, I think. I think there's an argument can be made for that. They're definitely the bad guy group that has the most unique characters. So not only do you have Cobra Commander, which would be Luther in this instance, but you have Destro, you have the Baroness, you have Tomon and Xamot, the Crimson Twins, you have Dr. Mindbender, you have the Dreadnoughts with Zartan, the Storm Shadow. You have a bunch of like really memorable characters all in kind of one group, and that's kind of what a Revolution Extreme is right now. A bunch of really top-notch characters, and there's not it's not a bunch of guys going like, hey, there's a number one on top. Like everyone's really much showcased, and everyone really holds their own here. So it's pretty cool. I like the new logo.
They both offer really good benefits too.
They do.
So,
and the new IWL logo. Thanks to Aaron for that. It's sick.
It's really really good.
It's like the best thing I've ever seen.
It really is. It looks like someone professionally did it, and someone did professionally do it. Aaron did it, but it looks far and away like the best logo that we've ever had. So, next up, we have some people with fedoras. I don't know who this is. Like, this is a TT that literally says nothing. Who is this?
I know who it is.
Okay. Are they trying to be mysterious for the sake of being mysterious?
Yeah, but if you notice someone that went away for a while now that's back, you should be able to figure that out.
I'm stupid, so I'm sure they'll reveal themselves eventually. Yes. But they do say a lot, though, without revealing anything. But they do have some clues. So there's the fedora and the stogie. There's a small man wrapped in an Australian flag, and he evidently shakes someone's hands with one of those buzzer pranks. And on the far side of the room, there's a man with a t-shirt that says greatness. And the smaller man, he looks intense. So, who is it? Who is it? I don't know who it is. I want to know. I don't want to know.
Ghetto Master Jr.
You're a liar. All right. Anyway,
Lockdown.
It's Lockdown.
It's not Backdown.
It's not Lockdown.
Lockdown famously got angry at me because I told him his avatar should be Big Boss Man, and he wanted to use Roman Reigns. And I told him he could use Roman Reigns and not the Big Boss Man, but the Big Boss Man would be better, and he got mad at me.
Oh, I would get mad at you too. But anyway, next we have Free Quebec. And there's something called the Mark.
Yeah, that's you.
What that is. So anyway, the Quebec, they got deported, and they blamed the Von Snaps, which I agree with.
1,000%, that's what happened. I saw it with my own two eyes. I witnessed that with my own two eyes.
Free Quebec is Bernard Bouchard, Guy Michel Gagon, and Jean-Pierre Tremblay. And they're pretty pissed at the Gagon. Anyway, I do like this the Mark and the top stars for the IWL. I think that stuff is really cool. Top tag teams, top 6 mans. A nice Columbia House ad, which I'm pretty sure I still owe them $120 for CDs circa 1994. So they're gonna come after you now.
They might.
Yeah.
So
hope your house is in your wife's name, because Columbia House is coming again.
I told you guys that. There's nothing with my name. I can just vanish off the face of the earth. The only thing will be left my YouTube channel and my social security number.
Anyway, so Free Quebec, they're taking on the Von Snaps. Or they're talking about the Von Snaps.
Well, who is
Free Quebec, the Von Snaps. The Free Quebec. It's also, everything is translated from French. And I will say that the French translation is on point. So,
you speak French there, Luke?
Do I speak French?
Yes.
No, I don't. I don't speak French. This is
translated. I feel like you're
from,
lying to me.
No.
Because if you're going to be an international assassin, I'm pretty sure you need to know how to speak French.
I can just ask. I can say. I think to ask if someone speaks English, I think is "Parlez-vous l'anglais?" So I do know that phrase, though I'm sure it's not pronounced correctly. And French people are notoriously particular about the way that you speak French.
I can go oui oui if you want. Usually in the back.
I don't think. Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't think that means. I don't know. Maybe it does. Anyway,
I like escargot. Is that French?
Yeah, I think that's the French word for snails.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
Parlez-vous français?
There it is.
And do you speak French?
I do.
I don't speak French.
You'll pardon my French.
Southern French.
Southern French?
You're not from New Orleans.
Yeah.
French fries, French tickler, French maid.
In 2002, I used to call French fries freedom fries. Just want to put that out.
Did you?
Yeah.
I did, 100%.
You goofball.
So your drop, Darren says your top draft picks are highly offended by this part of the show.
I will say this: that French people from French Quebec are looked down upon by French proper because of their accents, which I find odd and amusing. And also, Free Quebec is a huge movement. There have been several votes to Free Quebec from the clutches of British Canada. So, I sympathize.
Lots of fur traders up there. That's where I learned the social studies.
And they've had a few huge movements.
Say again?
I said, and they have had huge movement.
Yeah. Well, we'll
It was
see.
a poop joke, okay?
I don't get it.
Is the Nordiques still up there? Is that a thing?
The what?
The
I don't
Nordiques?
think so.
No. I feel like the Nordiques is a thing.
Yeah, the Montreal Nordiques.
No, they're Canadians
hockey
in
team?
Montreal.
Quebec, Nordique.
The Quebec Nordiques. But Montreal is in Quebec. It's the capital of Quebec.
It's in your
But
Winnipeg.
Montreal is the Canadian.
Where's Winnipeg? I don't understand. Where's Aaron when we
It's in-
need him?
I know. Like, this is
So
why we
Winnipeg-
have Evan on every single show.
Winnipeg left, and they were sold to. I'm not sure, but then
Colorado?
it was the Atlanta Thrashers, and the Thrashers sucked after about 5 years, and the Winnipeg Jets bought them and made the Winnipeg Jets again.
Strange.
I'm a Hartford Whaler man myself.
Ba, 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 ba.
We have the Nashville Predators, so I'm just saying. All right, anyway. So next we go on to the Omega Squadron. The MVPs, the IWL. Why you gotta boo that? Why you gotta boo them? MVPs, the IWL. MVPs. So Alexander J. Styles, their role is in the ring, and a egg rolls into the ring. A large egg. It looks like the WWE stole something.
It
from
sounds
her.
really familiar. I don't know where
Yeah.
I've seen or heard this before.
Yeah, so anyway, the Gobbledygooker appears, but he gives Alex a Widowmaker. And believe it or not, it's the Chameleon. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh. Didn't
Yeah.
you do this last year?
The Gobbledygooker or the Chameleon?
The Chameleon. God.
What the hell is
I
a
think
Manitoba?
It,
I feel like the last year, the Gobbledygooker dressed up like the Chameleon.
I feel like the Gobbledygooker dressed up as Hector Guerrero.
Yeah, I could see that. We should put it on the Survivor Series. I don't even understand.
Where's Lasertron when we need him?
that would know.
What about Max Moon? All right. So we move on. American Patriots calling out Rosanna. They're obviously talking about the Three Birds and then the Demolition Crew. So we'll see.
I thought they were singing the song by Toto.
Rosanna or
Yes.
Rain in Africa. What's that song? Africa? That song is just called Africa. You know?
Yeah.
Did you know that John Williams' son is in that band? Like the John Williams guy from Star Wars, his son is in
You're
that band.
lying.
Not lying, 100% true.
He's probably
You're
in Hall.
making
He's probably in
stuff.
Hall Notes.
Well, I mean, no, it's just
He's
Hall
Hall.
Notes.
No.
He's actually
Hall Notes is like the
the-
Eagles.
his mustache. His mustache. That's who it is. That's what he does in the band. He's just the mustache.
The
I mean,
Eagles are
in the-
Matt's favorite band, by the way.
Who?
The Eagles.
He does. He would be that kind of guy.
It's
The
a
Eagles.
toss-up between the Eagles and Chicago. And Chicago kicks ass.
You son of a.
I could see Matt as like an Eagles guy, you know?
Is it
You
Kenny
like
Loggins in the Eagles?
No, Kenny Loggins is not in the Eagles.
Kenny Loggins is in the Eagles.
You are just
Is
making
Kenny
up
Loggins
lies.
in Hall Notes?
No. Hall & Oates are in Hall & Oates.
What
Kenny
band is Kenny
Loggins
Loggins in?
The Kenny Loggins band.
No, he's in a real band. He went
No,
solo,
he's not.
like George Harris.
Kenny Loggins was in the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band way back, and then he was with Messina. It was Loggins and Messina.
There you
That
go.
was right before. That was right before Top Gun.
There you go. See, I love you.
You
some
didn't know
Kenny
any of
Loggins.
that, Alex.
Joseph Stanley Williams, born September 1st, 1960, is the son of film composer John Williams and actress Barbara Rusick.
Lead
And
singer of
grandson-
Hall of Oates. I know. I'm reading it the same thing.
You suck.
All right, let's get back to what we were doing. So
More
the
Toto
amazing,
talk.
oh my God, the Amazing
Brought to you
Graces.
by the
come out.
day.
The Amazing Graces come out. They're not dressed to use ring attire. They're all done up in three-piece suit. They got Royal Express on their wrists. They got women, two beautiful blonde women with them. Chase has a redheaded woman and a brunette. Like they're touching all of the douche bases. So they talk about how they owe everything to Luther Alexander and Johnny Revolution. And they're calling their shots. They're calling up the disembowelers. They're calling the dog pound. And finally, they call out Senior Lucha and Ali Atari. So let's see if old Lucha and Atari will strike back. And finally, last but not least, is late night Logan Kane. So this is a big deal. Logan Kane is the number one contender for John Satterfield's IWL Championship, and he has the championship or champion on his show. So hijinks ensue as Logan pulls out. He brings some things out to make the champion feel at
Logan
home.
never pulls
First, he
out.
brings whatever. He did pull out a win over Luther Alexander, so that's really something that we don't like to talk about. So anyway, first out, he brings out a bunch of dead fish. He brings out a model of the Titanic and a seashell. He tells him to phone home. I mean, you should read it. It's actually really good, and I don't want to read it and ruin it because it's on point. But at the end of the day, they break out into a brawl after Logan smacks the champ with a dead fish. And Don King actually pops up and says only in Atlantis, because now Don King is
Which
everywhere.
is the most hilarious thing I've read all cycle long.
Don King makes IWL wrestlers sign contracts like a unknown larger wrestling entity, sports entertainment entity. So now he gets a piece of all their third party deals.
He makes him use a plume also, by the way, with a big feather.
I don't even know what that is.
The one with the big feather on top.
He makes who use a plume?
Anyone that signs a contract. It's part of the contract.
Oh, gotcha. But you sign it with a plume. I thought
Yeah.
you meant like a plume, like on a hat.
Oh. No.
I did not know that.
That's not a plum.
A plum. I thought that was a fruit.
Well,
But
each
yeah,
their
so
own,
that
I
is
guess.
that is a breakdown of all of the IWLTT. So much like the BRL, the IWL has a heck of a lot going on, and also we have the biggest event of the year coming up, and that is going to be at holiday time. So it's the end of this month, right? Or is it the 1st of January?
For Starcade,
Yeah.
it is the first week of January. Coming up soon. Don't forget that we do have the Bunkhouse Stampede. We have match 1, because there are multiple Bunkhouse Stampedes, won by Fiction. So Fiction wins the first leg of the Bunkhouse Stampede. Match 2 will feature Neo Dragon, Nick Bloodtrap, Jesse Tombstone, the Christian Warrior, Barry Stevens. So be on the lookout for those results.
So what is the Bunkhouse? Can you explain what Bunkhouse Stampede is for
You don't know
those?
what the Bunkhouse Stampede is? I'm pretty sure if you're playing an imaginary wrestling game played by mail that's from 1985, you know what the Bunkhouse Stampede is. But for those of you who don't, basically it's a steel cage battle royal where you got to throw someone over the cage, but the cage is not a real cage. It's like a bunkhouse cage. It has wood and like wire, like chicken wire over it, and everyone's in their bunkhouse attire. There you go. No disqualification, no DQ. Winner gets a boot, by the way, and a shot at the IWL Heavyweight Championship.
Jeans,
I-
a
I
dusty
have-
T-shirt.
I have a question then.
Yeah.
So if the winner gets a shot at the IWL title, right?
Yeah.
Then do we have any events that are going to put someone in position to win the Pan American title? Coming
Yes,
up.
we have the Holiday Rumble coming up which is a battle royal where everyone's dressed as Santa. Weapons are allowed.
Who is in that Raw? Or is it just everybody?
No, you will get a 20-man list. I believe next cycle you'll have that list.
Okay, that's exciting. So they all have to dress as Santa then?
Yes, that's the rule.
Okay, all right.
And then you come down with your sack full of weapons and you beat the crap out of each other.
And is Dixon allowed in this?
No.
Because he has a title?
I wouldn't put him in such peril.
There's a Pat Sajak is in there. I just noticed.
New
that.
Pat Sajak.
Yeah.
Yes. It's New Jack with a Pat Sajak head on top.
It's great.
New Pat Sajak.
So there you go. That's There's also a picture of me as Mr. T on here as well. So
that's just strange. Hey, did you? That's it. That's all we got.
That's all we got. We're gonna move on to the next up.
No. You can't end this without saying the line. All of these. That's the segue.
Oh, fantastic!
No, not that one.
No,
I did that.
Yeah, there you go. That's the money right there.
The trendsetter you are.
Matt, you don't have to put that on a t-shirt.
It's in the works.
Okay. All right, next up, New Wave League.
The Lethal Lottery.
New Wave League. I guess that's me, eh?
175. So, Jeff, what's going down in the New Wave League?
All right. Well,
damn Lethal Lottery anyway.
We're going to start off coming up this next cycle. We got Futurescape 2, big pay-per-view. Starting off, that's headlined by the Survivor Series match for control of the NWL. Team Mad Dog versus Team Teamster. We got the Grady's Rules match, finishing off a major feud. And, of course, we got the semis and the finals of the Willowick Classic. We'll get into a little bit more of that as we go along. So our Survivor Series match is pitting Team Mad Dog Dick Jackson, former commissioner of the NWL, against Team Teamster. Teamster is the current and, I guess, reigning commissioner of the NWL. And they will be setting off on a 5-on-5 match to determine who will control it in the future. And they go back and forth in their little columns. And then, Matt, do you see Aaron sent the results for the second round of the Bad Company Cup? Do you want me to go over those?
Sure. Yeah, there's a big kind of plot twist there.
Yeah, hold on a second. I got to pull it up.
So everyone, just so you know, Bad Company Cup is the tag team tournament we run in the NWL. It's free. The only thing we ask you to do is keep your team active, and we'll go off the scores. And if your team graduates and you move on to a new league, as long as you're active with the tag team, we will use those scores. So you can win even if you leave the league. So there it is.
All right. So in the second round, we have Samoan Death Grip, Toa Noah, and Samoan Assassin taking out Lone Star Redneck and Colonel Doom. We have The Industry beating Mike Dynasty and Lance Horowitz. We have Honor Revolt, HNR, just edging out the Grady's to move into the next round. And finally, we have Jinko, Zydrate, and Nivik Largo, who advance basically by default into the next round. And those will be taking place, those matchups will be taking place in the next cycle.
There it is.
There it is. And as we move on with the New Wave League, the Depeche Mode, Sushi, and the Banshees League, for you older guys who might know what New Wave actually meant in the 80s. We have a really nice new, I I guess, advertisement or promo page that says, "Do you want to walk the walk?" Imploring our owners to please send in trash talk for their wrestlers. Don't be a wannabe, be a gonna be. Put that on a t-shirt. We've got El Hijo de Teamster, the Teamster's apparently Latin American son, who's under a mask. He in his promo, the Teamster is basically beating him up over losing in the first round of the Bad Company Cup. And they're trying to blame Mark Justice for this loss. So Mark Justice is gonna have to step up, I guess, and go after the Teamsters kid. And then he brings up a few guys who are in the league and have been for a few cycles now and haven't quite made any noise. The Heartthrobs, Ricky Rose and John Lane. We haven't heard anything from them yet, but it seems like they're active. So hopefully that jars them. And if you're listening, whoever runs Ricky Rose and John Lane, send them some trash talk.
Yeah.
Next up, the first pick in the IWAR draft, the Hebrew Hammer, Lance Horowitz, who is in the middle of a bit of a, I guess, character crisis. He has recently beat the shit out of Dapper Dandy, which is about the 7,000th time Dapper Dandy's gotten beat up in the last 6 months. Poor guy gets beat up like twice a month and gets dragged out to the Grady Ranch at least once. So Dapper Dandy got beat up, and in the promo here, Lance Horowitz is basically telling him, "I don't apologize. You deserve what you got." And then he goes on to absolutely bury all of his partners on Team Mad Dog in the upcoming Survivor Series match. So who knows? That might lead to something interesting happening. And this might be is this Lance Horowitz's last cycle in the NWO?
I believe his last official cycle is December 4th. I think that's it. I think him and Zydrate, those guys are at the same time.
Okay. So he's on his way out, and he's going over to the IWL, correct?
Yes, number one pick.
That's right. Next up, we have a trash talk from Toa Inoa and the Samoan Assassin. It's actually not really a trash talk. It's mainly Hugh Jazz and Dapper Dandy calling a match for the NWL Tag Team Championship between Samoan Death Grip and Sam Hain and Mick Ferrari. And it looks like it's just kind of a changing of the guard promo. Samoan Death Grip, of course, they were basically the lackeys of Stevie Vertigo. Stevie Vertigo wasn't happy with their performance, so he sent them back to Samoa to go toughen up. I guess they probably went back and worked out with The Rock and Roman Reigns on that big-ass farm that they have there from Fast and the Furious. And they came back, and it looks like they've got a chip on their shoulder now, so they'll be in the future here something to contend with. Stevie Vertigo, all roads lead to Beaver County, and Stevie Vertigo, of course, is coming to Beaver County to fight, to not wrestle, to fight Rhett Grady for the deed to the Grady Ranch. And in this promo, it's basically Stevie Vertigo on his motorcycle making his way to Beaver County, and he attempts to buy off the owner of the bar that Roe Grady hangs out at, the Garage Tavern in West Liberty, West Virginia, right across the border from Beaver County. So Stevie Vertigo is trying to buy off local people, and he's bringing some serious weapons to the Grady Ranch, including what seems to be stuff to start fires with.
Oh.
So who knows where that's going to go. Next up, we have a post-match attack where it looks like Rod Camino beats up the Dark Stranger. Dark Stranger, I'm not even sure who the Dark Stranger is. but he got beat up. Next up, we have Jay Silverblood and the Dark Stranger. Oh, hey, there he is, Dark Stranger. And apparently they're going to Nova Scotia for Imagimania 36. News to me.
Is Nova Scotia in Manitoba?
Nova Scotia is in Nova Scotia, I believe.
Oh, okay.
It's Halifax, maybe, the city. Anyway, so Jay Silverblood gives a what is all this beeping? Jay Silverblood gives an interview with Dapper Dandy, essentially giving his resume about being a Native American and having been inducted into the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame. I wasn't aware they even played lacrosse in Canada, but hey, he also apparently was a Golden Gloves boxer. So Jay Silverblood, mega athlete. He's like Jim Thorpe or Bo Jackson over here.
All right.
And in the end, basically, he's just talking about the Bad Cup tournament. Him and the Dark Stranger, who faced Zydrate and Nivic Largo. And we know that they lost. But hey, you know what? Jay Silverblood, keep him coming. It's a good promo. Next up, we have Big Money Bonnie Banks introducing the Lone Star Redneck Club and the #1 contender to the Young Lions Championship, Lone Star Redneck. And Lone Star Redneck is just talking himself up, getting ready to go in. Now, Lone Star Redneck is going to be on Team Teamster's squad in the Survivor Series match at Futurescape, but he has a date in the next pay-per-view, Clash of Champions, where he will take on Rhett Grady and either Mike Dynasty, Colonel Doom, Rod Camino, or Zydrate, whoever wins the Willowick Classic. Now we have some extremely sketchy photos. This is the Devil's Rejects. I'm assuming that's Machine, El Mascarado, and Tomax Firefly. Looks like that all goes together. And it's just photos of a very scary-looking house. They either live there or perhaps they're trying to rent it out. And there's a mask. A satanic-looking mask. Machine, these three guys, Machine, El Mascarado, and Tomax Firefly, have actually, they're doing pretty well in the NWL. They take home a lot of gold. So they're definitely making their mark. Next, this is one of my favorite ongoing segments we have in the NWL, the Hot Tub Hot Take with Rod Camino. This is a very original idea that I love. And in this interview, Rod Camino basically talks about everybody in the entire NWL, from Veruca Assault to Sam Hain and Mick Ferrari, to Mike Dynasty, to Lance Horowitz, to Nivic Largo. He even mentions the Devil's Rejects guys, Tomax Firefly and Machine. Talks about Mark Justice, Samoan Death Grip. This is the kind of trash talk here that can spring many feuds forwards in the future. This is a fantastic 3-page promo. Follow that up with the Industry, who is Rod Camino, Waz, and Dave the Decision. I don't know, I'm going to mess this up. Wazolinsky? Is that his name? Wazolinsky?
Sounds right.
Yeah,
yes.
Sounds right. They're in the ring, and Waz apparently has just eliminated the Samoan Assassin. This is when Waz won the Battle Royal last cycle. So Rod Camino and Dave the Decision meet him there in the ring, and they're congratulating Waz. And then they talk about what's going to happen at Futurescape, which is a triple threat tag team match for the #1 contender to the Young Lions Tag Team Championships. And that's going to be Honor Revolt's Wolf Keenan and Lachlan Kincaid versus Mick Ferrari and Sam Hain versus the Gun Collection, California Gunslinger and Shotgun Kid. So that will spring forward to a Young Lions Tag Team Championship match at Clash of Champions 21. Mike Dynasty comes in with a trash talk with a beautiful new header that reminds me of the franchise Shane Douglas's logo, which I think is who Mike Dynasty is trying to be like. Mike Dynasty is, as I've said in the past, I think right now is my favorite heel in the NWL. He's just a shit starter and a shit talker. And he has a way of getting under everyone's skin. He's got some big matches coming up. So he's going to be in the Willowick Classic. He'll be taking on Colonel Doom in the first round. So he gives Colonel Doom the rundown in here, calling him Colonel. Instead of Colonel like an Army colonel, he's calling him Colonel like a corn kernel. And of course, he runs down Rhett Grady, which he does pretty much every month. So Mike Dynasty believes he is a bull in a glass house. He's going to be busting out and breaking up those glass ceilings. Honor Revolt, Nick Dane, Wolf Keenan, Lachlan Kincaid. These guys obviously have made a big impact in a short time. They're doing something nefarious, though, in their locker room with Queen Kyla. And that's Stevie Vertigo's girl. Not sure what they're doing back there, but Nick Dane says a gentleman never tells. She wanted to discuss some pressing matters.
Oh.
Yeah, how about that? Stevie Vertigo comes in. He's a little PO'd because Queen Kyla was hanging out with the Honor Revolt guys who were voted most likely to be teenage dads when in high school. They're the heartthrobs of the NWL at the moment. And there is a new character that we get introduced in this trash talk named Zanroar. And we don't really get much information on who that is, but I'm sure in the future we'll see some more. They, of course, talk about facing the Grady's in the Bad Company tournament, which they won that match. The Grady's lost. So H&R moving forward. Again, these guys are all over the map, and they're all over Futurescape. Nick Dane is on Team Mad Dog. He's also in the hardcore title Fatal 4-Way, and Wolf Keenan and Lachlan Kincaid are in that Young Lions Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match. So these guys are all over the map. Next up, we have the promo from Country Hammer Rhett Grady, who's out at a very remote cabin training for his fight with Stevie Vertigo. Dapper Dandy is not happy that he had to walk through the woods and the snow and the mud to get there. Again, poor Dapper Dandy. Dapper Dandy interviews Rhett. Rhett's basically saying that Stevie Vertigo better become something he isn't. He better become something new if he wants to win this match at Futurescape. Stevie Vertigo, of course, last seen on his motorcycle heading out to the Grady Ranch. Aunt Betsy's front porch. This cycle, we get an interview with the rookie, Mark Justice. Mark Justice he's doing very well in the NWL. He had a match on the last pay-per-view against Johnny Aztec, El Jefe. Johnny Aztec won that match, but only because his lackey, Sancho Valdez, interfered. So Mark Justice is kind of dropping hints here that he has somebody coming to watch his back in the near future. So what to watch out for that. He has some not so nice words for Mike Dynasty. He talks about Honor Revolt like everybody does. High energy. Those guys can go. And that's true. And he talks about the Teamster, says that, he's happy he's getting an opportunity, but the Teamster has let the power go to his head. And I think everybody can echo that sentiment. Moving on, El Templo Tolteca. This is Johnny Aztec's stable. It's Johnny Aztec talking about Honor Revolt. Lachlan and Wolf calls them pendejos, which I believe is not a nice thing to call somebody. I don't speak Spanish. Team Tolteca is coming for the gold that is rightfully theirs. Veruca Salt, who is just probably right now the most successful wrestler in the NWL. Veruca Salt made the main report page, and she's winning titles all over the place. Talks about Veruca Salt being the league champion. And Johnny Aztec is calling out Lone Star Redneck. He says, I probably don't need to tell you why I'm not fond of Texanos like yourself, but it dates back to the Alamo. He's blaming Lone Star Redneck for the Alamo. Mark Justice has a TT here. He is in the back, walking around with his Mid-Atlantic title, and he runs into the Grady's. And it's just a nice conversation. Rhett Grady and Ro Grady basically saying, hey, good job, Mark Justice. Mark Justice actually beat Ro Grady one-on-one in a match. And it's just a nice conversation about that match. And then the Teamster rolls in and says, hey, Justice, why are you hanging out with these hillbillies? Well, screw you, Teamster. Next up, we got Jinko, Zydrate, Shiloh Wallace, and Nivik Largo. This is another group that is, their time in the NWL is starting to wind down. Of course, they were also draft picks. Kind of weirdos, Jinko. Zydrate is a weird cat. Nivik Largo, another weird cat. But they're heading out to Futurescape. And of course, Zydrate's going to be in against Rod Camino in the semifinal of the Willowick Classic, and Shiloh Wallace will be in the women's four-way, which is for now the new Young Lioness title.
Oh,
so the women's four-way at Futurescape between Veruca Salt, Big Money Bonnie Banks, Arya Gunpowder of the Gun Collection, and Shiloh Wallace. The winner of that match will become the inaugural NWL Young Lioness champion. So another woman's title to add to the page. Colonel Doom comes in with a not one, not two, not three, but a 3.5 page promo. And it's good stuff there. Yeah, it's good stuff from Colonel Doom. Colonel Doom's got he's a guy on the rise too. He's of course in the Willowick Classic. He's going to take on Mike Dynasty, but he's not making friends in too many places here. He's going to be on Team Teamster also, along with Lone Star Redneck, Samoan Assassin, Dave the Decision, and Question Mark. I'm not sure who the fifth person is going to be yet. It's a surprise that the Teamster has in wait for us. And he talks about how his team is going to be able to beat Team Mad Dog, even if they don't have a fifth guy. They don't need a fifth guy. The four of them alone is enough to take down, Ro Grady and Lance Horowitz and Gunslinger, Mick Ferrari, and Nick Dane. This is a long promo. And then we have, I'm not actually sure what this is. We have what looks to be a one-line TT, but
yeah.
I don't know if that's supposed to be part of Colonel Doom's TT or not. And then under that we have Sinister Moon, Zama. These are the TTs. I think these are from the BRL. They got added into the NWL report because isn't Flashy Jack Ferdinand in the BRL?
Yeah, he did a promo because of people coming to the BRL soon. He wanted to kind of send him a message.
Oh, I see.
All the
Okay.
newly graduated NWL jobbers, kind of him insulting them.
Got it. So yeah, that's what this is. This is Flashy Jack Ferdinand's newsletter, the Flashy Jack Fan Club, issue number 13. This guy's in the BRL, huh? Is that where he's at?
He
Good.
is.
Good. Rhett and Rowe are looking forward to meeting him in the near future. But yes, he says that Jack's last word is, none of the embedded icons of the IWAR can evade the blinding light of my meteoric rise, and no newly graduated NWL jobbers will weigh me down. So all of you guys going to the BRL, keep that in mind. This is sponsored by Dynasty. And I've heard a lot about Dynasty.
Yes.
Big stable across the whole IWAR, right? Is that pretty much it?
Yes, asterisk.
Okay. And he has the mannequins. Was it mannequins 1, 2, and 3?
Correct.
All right. And then finally, we have promos, trash talks from the gun collection, starting with California Gunslinger. California Gunslinger and Shotgun Kid are teaming up. They will be in the Young Lions Tag Team #1 Contenders match. Shotgun Kid has his own trash talk here, where he is a odd-looking guy, if that's him in that photo. Shotgun Kid is beating up Colonel Doom in his trash talk here. Colonel Doom and him run into each other in the back. Colonel Doom says, "Hey, Shotgun, you as a leading actor is hilarious." So Shotgun Kid sends him flying, Colonel Doom flying. And then we've got Arya Gunpowder. Oh, wait a minute. What do we got at the end here? Oh, yeah, that's right. I did read this one. So Shotgun Kid ends up getting handcuffed and taken away for his actions. So hopefully he gets bailed out in time for Futurescape, because if the gun collection doesn't show up, we got some holes in this card. And Arya Gunpowder, of course, is going to be in that four-way, which, of course, now we know is for a major title. She is calling out Big Money, Bonnie Banks, and Shiloh Wallace, and Veruca Salt. Basically saying that she'll see him at Futurescape 2, and that the title's going to be hers. And that is all of the trash talk for the NWL for this cycle.
All right, I dig that. Fantastic. Before we close out the show, Matt, do you have any... Excuse me, pardon me, wow. Matt, do you have any news for us IWAR-wide?
I believe Scott has some updates to the Lethal Lottery. Nope, you're on mute.
He doesn't realize he's on mute.
Fantastic.
Blah 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 blah.
All right, you're off.
I keep doing it till it came on. I couldn't get it to turn on. Somebody made me mute it.
I do that.
Okay. So yeah, quickly, because last time somebody fell asleep while the show was going on, and he didn't get a chance to get the Lethal Lottery results done. We had them done. He just didn't get to say them. I don't know who fell asleep though. It was really bad.
They need some gas station dick pills. That's for sure.
Exactly.
They're 4 Loco.
Even though these are the purple ones.
Oh, excuse me. Fancy.
Yeah. All right. So we were down to the final 8 teams. Lavender Fields and Ripley Strode taking on Veruca Salt and Effie O'Shaughnessy. Excuse me. Can't read what I wrote here. So in the next round, it was Fields and Strode had an 888 to an astronomical 989 for Veruca and Effie, which brought it out to a 974 for Lavender and Ripley, and a 1983 for Veruca and Effie, which puts them into the next round. Tiamat and Big, I just wrote down dollar signs. Big Money Bonnie Banks. She had a 489, 494. Sorry. All my numbers are mixing up. And Tiamat had a 495, which came out to a 989, and just slipped by Gina Colada and Shiloh Wallace, who had a 980, which gave a total at this time of 975 for Colada and Wallace, and a winning total of 978 for Tiamat and Bonnie Banks, excuse me. And that will bring us to a final of Veruca Salt and Effie O'Shaughnessy taking on Tiamat and Bonnie Banks. And the winner of that match will be the two that take on Jane Red, correct? No.
Betty.
Betty.
The first available Red sister.
Yeah, the other Red. So, the winner of that match will take on, will be in the three-way match for the world title.
There it is.
There it is. Fantastic. I dig that. So, Matt, anything else IWAR wide?
Yes, I would say if you have not yet voted for the year-end awards, I would highly recommend you do that. The current voting, and I would just ask people, if you voted once, don't vote again.
Sorry.
ISP address, so I can tell when people voted twice or 3 times or 6 times as it happened. So,
Hey, I was on the toilet.
You don't need to stack the deck. But just, we try to do a good job with this. So the voting will close, and then we'll take the time to write the awards out. Some of the awards are kind of set in stone, but there's still a chance for a lot of them. But we had like 20 votes in the NWL, actually 17. But my point being that, get out there and vote if you have not yet voted. Help us out. There it is. And for some people that were disgruntled that they weren't represented, I got one email like, "Oh, my guys wouldn't get any nominations." I'm like, "Did you send me a nomination?" Well, no. But
it's probably because their guys suck.
Well, I can't just keep in mind, people say to me all the time like, "Oh, you don't remember everything." I'm like, nope. There's so much shit going on. Every year it's the same thing where I'm like, I know what I'll do. I'll do a really good job this year of making sure that I follow along everything each cycle, and it's like just there's so much going on, and there's big moments throughout the year, so it really helps us when we ask for help with these things to chime in. I will say we do try to do a thing now where in the past, if someone swept a bunch of the awards, it was like, okay, so and so won popular and this and that, and now we try to make it a little more well-rounded for several reasons, and one of which is to kind of capture the essence of the year. And if you just have one year where one wrestler wins 6 awards, well, was there anybody else in the league? What happened? So we try to kind of be fair about that. So we'll be working on that. The IWAR creative team is the final say in all the awards. So we'll run all the things by them and say, hey, does this make sense to you? Because one of the people that I put the nomination in kind of as a favor to them is leading, and they had one promo all year. And I shouldn't have put them in the voting at all.
Because you're a sucker.
Because I'm trying to sap. Yeah, so, just...
But I will defend that a little bit, and if that person who does win this will step up for next year, then that would be okay. But if you're not going to step up and you're only getting it to wanting the award, then maybe we should think of someone else. And if you don't like what I say about that, then come find me. I'm not bad.
Catch me outside.
Yeah, catch me outside.
Yeah. So just anyway, we'll be working on that. So we appreciate all the input.
Well, when Matt and I did the women's division, we went almost by every single month and took the best of what we could remember. And, you know, and there would be like 3 or 4 straight months of the same thing because it was a feud. So, and whatever stood out, we took. And if you want something to stand out, A, trash talk. B, let us know. We will not know unless you, that what you want unless you tell us.
Right.
Damn, I'm pushy tonight.
It's all right.
No, I just don't like the. I don't like the point of. Don't be mad at us that we didn't pick your stuff if you don't let us know. I mean, there's a lot out there. There was more than I thought there was going to be when I started this.
I concur.
I agree. You know, I think it's a big, like, you may want to just remind us of things. I can't remember anything past last cycle anyway.
Right.
You got 2 girls pregnant.
That's a lie. It was 3.
Well, that was my sister.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. I don't have a sister. Who was that girl?
I don't know. I was too drunk to remember.
Well, you told me to keep your glass full at all times.
Yeah, there it is. All right. I feel we should ask Johnny a question. So,
Would Johnny be a question?
I'm going to ask Johnny B a question.
I had a question.
All right, ask your question.
I gotta remember. You go yours first. No, I think mine second.
Well, my question was revolving around: does the IWA do anything special for the employees during the holiday season? Like, do a Secret Santa, perhaps, of some sorts? Does Kim make cookies? If so, please send me some. That'd be dope. I like cookies; they're delicious. And I was also wondering what Johnny B's favorite Christmas present that he received throughout his life. It could be something in his childhood, perhaps, or his teens, or even fairly recently. And I'm kind of curious to see what you guys' most favorite Christmas memory or Christmas present you received was as a kid. Mine was one year my father got me the WrestleMania box set on VHS. So it was all the WrestleManias up to that point, which was up to 14 at the time. And I watched the crap out of those for like the next 10 years. I literally still have them in my garage. So that's my question. And if Kim has cookies, please send them my way. Matt, what was your question?
My big thing Christmas wise was we were always together as a family, and once my mom passed away of cancer, it was crappy because the family they didn't get together anymore. Everybody has gone their separate ways, and my mom was like the glue of the family.
Yeah.
I moved all the way to California. So. But I will say that my best gift was probably right when I got it was 2 different gifts. The first one was the when Atari first came out.
Ah.
That was great. That was my first game system. My best gift, though, I would have to say I had friends that lived in the same apartment complex we were in Georgia, and there was a Christmas show at the Omni, and we went to that. You know, it was Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes,
nice.
Tommy Rich. Yeah, it was I wish I could remember the card. I'd have to go back and look, but it was that's been the most memorable thing. You know, being in my 50s now. I was in my teens then. So.
That's great. I would love. That's one place I never got an opportunity to go to was the Omni.
That was the best place to go to wrestling because you came in up on the top, but you could leave on the bottom where the wrestlers left. You couldn't stay where their cars were. You had to stay in within this gate. But they'd come over and talk to you. It was, or flip you off.
Tully Blanchard. What about you, Matt?
Favorite holiday gift?
Oh.
I would say there are a few. When I was a kid, I got Castle Grayskull. I got the Death Star. Those always stand out to me as like big ones. And then I was a big Saints fan as a kid growing up because I always felt bad they're terrible. And they got me a Saints varsity jacket.
Oh.
So I had a Saints varsity jacket. But
with the leather sleeves?
Yes.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. And I wore it to a Patriots Saints game and got beer thrown at me. So, like, I'm a Patriots fan, you shithead. But whatever.
And that was a young Alex.
A huge fan, Alex Gutierrez. Yeah.
It was a bottle of piss.
Nice. Oh no. Luke, you still there?
He fell asleep.
No, I'm awake. What's up?
What's your favorite holiday gift? Before I ask my question, what's your favorite holiday gift?
I don't remember. I don't have a childhood. So no, I think my favorite holiday gift was probably I got like a Lego like pirate ship, I think.
That's
and then I got like a N64 back in the day. That's pretty dope.
Oh, I know it. Sorry. I know what it was. I completely forgot. One year, my grandparents and parents got me like all the D&D playbooks, like the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual, the Fiendfold, like all the big books. It was like 6 of them for Christmas. So nerd.
You're such a dork.
Yeah, you're kind of a nerd. What a nerd.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. What's your question for JB?
2 questions. One is a strategic question. Due to the high number of players who win the IWA 6-man championship every cycle, would they ever consider adding to the difficulty of the game by making the 24-point hold enter the mix, so you'd have 2 extra holes to consider each cycle, as opposed to just having, like the 12 you do each cycle? Is a gameplay option, because people always say like, oh, this game's so tough, and it's like you win people. You look at the records on the IWA report. It's like 12th cycle in a row with his championship, 10th cycle in a row. Like, dude. So that was one question. The other was going to be, what is IWA's desktop or laptop? I'm curious if it's a desktop or not. I don't remember if they told us which it was. I know they said it was a PC or a Mac, but it was Mac.
I'm pretty sure it's a desktop.
Yeah.
Or they're using one of those big ass computers with the big tape that goes.
Yeah. Right.
Like from the '60s. It's dope.
Spits out the thing.
The bubble printer.
They use Scantrons.
Yeah.
What was the biorhythm thing? Remember the biorhythm thing at the arcades?
Like the blood pressure thing, or
you'd hold the handlebars and it would give you like a readout and be like,
it'll tell you if you're sexy or not.
It would.
We had those at the bicycle shop. Oh,
bicycle shop with Webster. Not Webster.
No, it was me. Me and Dudley went to the bicycle. No, I wasn't. That wasn't me. He gave us beer and wine and dirty magazines.
Oh, I know. What did IWA? A kind of a operational question. When the IWA has these things like, please make sure your stuff gets in on a certain date because we got to do it early because of Thanksgiving or a holiday. Do they look forward to those days? Are they like, they get out early, or are they more like, because players actually get their crap together and send them stuff?
Because how early did the gold come out? It came out fairly early, right?
Yeah, like Larry sent me a message at like 12 something. It was like, it's up. Like, oh shit,
that's amazing.
Out.
All right, guys. So we are officially out of time. So for Matt Riley, for Scott, for Luke, for Jeff, I'm Alex G. Have a good night.
I did that.